You know, it's funny. For the better part of a year, a sizable portion of the Path of Exile community has been sounding the alarm. Forums have lit up, Reddit burned red with outrage, and even the most patient players began to wonder, is this the beginning of the end of Path of Exile 1? Is Grinding Gear Games turning their backs on the game that got them here in the first place? And honestly, the concern wasn't baseless. GGG didn't exactly help their case. The early days of PoE 2's development were quiet, eerily so. Then came the delays, then came the news PoE 1 would go a full 10 months, almost an entire year, without a new league. A full content cycle without content. And when questioned, GGG was transparent. They had pulled every resource from PoE 1 to focus on delivering PoE 2's early access by December 6th. PoE 1 players understandably frustrated by this GGG decision. They felt abandoned. PoE 2 still not released and already under scrutiny looked to be like a resource drain, a black hole of developer energy. This wasn't just about leagues. It was about identity, about loyalty, about legacy. And it was a slap in the face to the players who for over a decade supported Path of Exile 1 to only be thrown to the side like an unwanted friend. But here's the twist, the irony that no one saw coming, and the story that's about to unfold right now. What if PoE 2 doesn't kill PoE 1 like some people feel? What if it saves it? The Path of Exile player base is fiercely loyal, but also deeply analytical. We read between the patch notes, we dissect developer posts, and we see silence as its own form of communication. So when PoE 1 began to slow down, when league cycles became inconsistent, when updates came in whispers instead of roars, the community paid attention, and they reacted. Some cried betrayal, others mourned what they thought was a slow sunset. GGG, for their part, tried to manage expectations, but the optics were clear. PoE 2 was the new shiny thing, and Path of Exile 1 looked like the old workhorse being sent to pasture. Now, combine that with the rocky start to PoE 2's early access, players who were once excited grew skeptical. Harsh difficulty, limited loot, inconsistent systems. The forums went from asking, when will PoE 2 arrive? To, is this what you sacrificed Path of Exile 1 for? But here's what people missed in the noise, in my humble opinion. While all eyes were locked on PoE 1's silence and PoE 2's struggle, something else was happening beneath the surface, something both subtle and brilliant. Grinding Gear Games wasn't just building a new game. They were building an infrastructure, a repository of new monsters, mechanics, assets, UI improvements, and more. The kind of tools and content that, with the right vision, could transcend the game they were made for. And here's the most important part. PoE 1 and PoE 2 aren't just cousins in the same universe. They share a client. They share an engine. They're connected in the code, even if they feel different in the hand. So the paused feature, one of the first major quality of life additions developed specifically for Path of Exile 2, can and now has been ported to PoE 1. It's been recently confirmed by Grinding Gear Games. Let's watch their announcement.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. This is the first of a series of videos covering quality of life improvements we're adding to Path of Exile. In the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, you can now pause the game at any time by pressing escape to open the menu or opening any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected, or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that you cannot do this in areas that have the cannot pause debuff, which is usually reserved for pinnacle boss content. Keep an eye on upcoming news leading up to the livestream for Secrets of the Atlas for many more quality of life improvements. Then, join us on June 5th for the livestream, where we'll deep dive into all the content in the expansion. Thanks, and see you then.
This is the first domino to fall, but it won't be the last. From a game development standpoint, this is exactly what you want to see. Asset reusability, shared tech stacks, dual-purpose development. GGG didn't throw Path of Exile 1 in the trash to make POE 2. They invested in a future where both games could benefit. Think of it, new monster archetypes created for POE 2. Those can now appear in POE 1 leagues. Boss fights designed with advanced scripting in POE 2, reused, rebalanced, injected into POE 1's endgame. Visual effects, audio design, combat behavior, all now transferable across the two experiences. This isn't a death sentence. It's a renovation, a refresh, a revival. And it answers the questions players have been asking for over a year. Will GGG ever reinvest in POE 1? The answer, surprisingly, is they already have. They just did it in POE 2's name. It's not just speculation anymore. We now have proof of concept with the pause feature. It's a quiet but systematic shift. A signpost that reads, yes, we're listening. Yes, we're adapting. Yes, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Imagine a POE 1 league where the enemies are from POE 2's bestiary. Imagine crafting systems being enhanced by tech that POE 2 pioneered. Imagine POE 1 finally receiving UI love because those assets already exist in its sister title. It's all not only possible, it's probable. This is how a game lives on without becoming obsolete. Not by clinging to the past, not by pretending the sequel doesn't exist, but by absorbing its advancements and standing taller because of them. POE 2 doesn't need to kill POE 1 because POE 1 is the living proof that even in the world of ARPGs, you don't have to die to evolve. So let's get back to the beginning. A lot of people said Path of Exile 2 would destroy POE 1. And in a way, they weren't wrong to be afraid. Grinding Gear Games did shift all their resources. POE 1 did sit dormant for many months. And players were right to demand answers. But the answer is here now, in my humble opinion. And it's not a eulogy, it's a rebirth. The combat in POE 2 can remain meaningful and punishing. That's not the difficulty that needs to change. It's the systems, the RNG, the crafting, the scarcity that have to evolve in POE 2. And in POE 1, those evolutions may arrive sooner than anyone thought. GGG doesn't need to choose between POE 1 and POE 2. They can and are building a future where one feeds the other and vice versa. This is not irony, that's strategy. And in hindsight, it might just be genius. If you found this perspective refreshing, insightful, or even a little optimistic, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And join me live on Twitch every evening at SamyCaps, where I dive deep into both POE 1 and POE 2, my favorite games. And I'm currently continuing my hardcore Maps or Bust challenge in real time. Let's talk about the future of this franchise, because just maybe, it's a lot brighter than most people think. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you next time. Take care. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.